This is a Thunder Game Report.
Hi, I'm Randy Renner at Chesapeake Energy Arena. The Thunder back home tonight after a pretty bad road trip where they lost a couple in the Rocky Mountains. They're playing the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. That might be the recipe to cure what ails them. Milwaukee comes in just with 7 wins on the season. Their field goal percentage is the worst in the NBA, and they're one of the lowest scoring teams in the NBA. Had a chance to talk to both Thunder head coach Scott Brooks and to Milwaukee head coach Larry Drew.
He wants to make sure everybody is involved and everybody is having success. Shooting too much, I wouldn't label him as a guy that's taking too many shots. But I did talk to him today. I like him taking shots. Is they're good shots, if they're good shots. But I also like him taking threes if they're off the pass, unless we're in a situation it's a 2-for-1, and I like that pull-up three. But I think he's taking maybe too many threes that are not from a pass. Those are hard shots to make. I mean, he has the ability to make those and take those at times, but if I want to criticize one area of his shooting or shot selection, it's probably be that. But that is not like major. Probably 2 or 3 a game.
Is he just being tough on himself?
Yeah, that's what I love about him. He's always tough on himself. He doesn't like to lose like all of us. We're a competitive group. We take what we do very serious. We're a fun group to be around, but when the game starts, we're not fun to be around. We want to play and win the game and play well and why we're winning. And he's hard on himself, but for the right reasons.
Scott, earlier in the week you had said that what had happened these last couple of games was correctable, the problems in there, and Katie said he thought that shoot-around went really well today. In watching shoot-around today, what did you like about what you saw?
I didn't want to see the carryover for the last 2 games. You know, we lost the last 2 games in a way that we're not happy with ourselves. We gave up one game nearly 3 quarters of 30 points. The next game, 2 quarters of 30 points and 58% and 14 threes and whatever, 10 threes. 2 guys had 10 threes last game between them, 10 for 16, Foy and Fournier. So we came out with good energy and focus, but with saying that, we usually do anyway. We always have good shoot-arounds, or for the most part. But I'm looking forward to the game tonight. Just being home with our own home crowd, and our guys are excited about playing.
Scott, the Bucks missed their last 11 shots.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which you probably saw. I'm sure your team, after losing 2 games, obviously won't relax. But is this a team that you feel you could maybe put? They have trouble scoring. They've shown that all year.
Yeah, I mean, we want to play well tonight, and whether it's against Milwaukee or whoever is on the schedule, we want to play well. We know that 29 teams have NBA players that can have good games. If you're going to look into the game and think about it's going to be an easy game because of Milwaukee's record, that's usually when you get kicked. So we're focused on what we have to do. No disrespect to Milwaukee, but we always focus on what we have to do. If we take care of us first, and then we can worry about what we have to do to beat the team. But our mindset's right. We're a pretty good chance to win the game.
Scott, Giannis, 19 years old.
Yeah.
He's matching up against some really physical players. He's really struggled recently. As a veteran coach in this league, I mean,
Thank you.
is it tough for
Darnell, see the respect that he's giving me?
to be able to compete against a Kevin Durant, or I think it was Tucker the other night?
Yeah.
Just, really
Yeah,
his
physical.
physicality against him. Could it be too much too soon?
I think it's great experience. Whether every team is in different positions in different places as an organization, they're obviously rebuilding, and they have some good young pieces that are going to continue to get better. These are great experiences for them. as long as he just keeps fighting and keeps battling back and not give in to having a bad game. All-stars have bad games. All-stars, good teams miss 11 shots in a row. It's not just teams that don't have good records. But he seems like a great kid that works hard. He has the talent, and Kevin's always says, talent that works hard. You're gonna have some success if he keeps working hard. He's a good player.
He's had some good ones.
Yes.
Recently he's really strong. He hasn't gotten foul trouble.
Yep.
Nick was saying last year in the playoffs when he didn't have Russ, they learned we can't rely so much on Kevin, can't force feed him, can't depend on him. With what you're struggling with now, do you see similarities? Have you guys not adjusted properly?
No, I mean, I looked back at a lot of our games and my notes and things. We're 4-4 without him the last 8 games. 2 of them we had pretty good fourth quarter leads. Most of them we're either up or pretty close to being tied in the first quarter. So I don't think we're relying on KD to go for 45 or 48 like he did. He's going to have games like that. Special players have games like that. He's in that category that he's going to have 40s and 50 game nights. But the last 2 games, it had nothing to do with our offense. I know we've missed a ton of shots. The last game especially, it was our defense. Our defense didn't put us in a position to win a game when you have a bad shooting night. But Kevin's going to have games where he's going to take a lot of shots, but his percentages are good, so it's telling us that he's getting good shots.
Put in perspective what Reggie Jackson's done in the last couple of weeks in terms of what he's done better these last few weeks, and then maybe what he needs to improve.
I think he's done a good job. He's been improving for the last 3 years. And just going back to the earlier question, young guys have to improve every day, and they should. If they're right, if their mind is right, and they're into doing the right things, they're going to keep getting better. And Reggie's improved a lot the last 3 years. I like what he's doing. It's a hard position. Point guard is the hardest position because you never master it. You can be a 10-year all-star, and you're going to have 4 other players that want the ball, and the coach is going to want you to run a play, and you can never get away with that or from that. And those are the things that he has to understand. He has to manage. He's going to have to manage his team. He's out there. He's the quarterback, and he has to manage all the different personalities. He has to manage all the different demands, what the players and the coaches want. And in the meantime, he has to figure out time and score and how many timeouts we have. There's a lot on the mind of a point guard. And I think those are areas that he's going to have to continue to improve. And he's playing against better players also. When you're starting, you're playing against better players.
Speaking of point guards, the guy in Milwaukee before it didn't avail is Gary Neal. I just want your thoughts, not on that, but on Gary as a player, what you think about this game.
Pertaining to what? Like how
Just his style of play.
playing? He's a good player. He's a championship level player. He makes threes. He's had big moments. Very good player.
Scott, in the last week you mentioned 4-4 without Russ, and certainly there's a lot of talk about when he's going to come back and how the team reacts without him, and then the distraction of all this stuff that was on Twitter in the last couple of days. Is it frustrating to you? How are you dealing with that? How's the team reacting to that?
I didn't even bring it up to the guys. It's nothing that affects me, and I don't think it affects our team. We've always been a focused group. We love the game. We love to compete, and we're not a perfect team. I don't know if there is one. You're going to lose some games, and you just have to understand that losing games is going to happen in an NBA season. It's how you recover from the losses and how you stay together from losses. One of the things that's easy to do in this league is play the blame game. But those are the teams that they're not fun to be around. They're not fun to coach, and they're not fun to cheer for. And luckily and fortunately for me, I'm blessed. I don't have to deal with those situations.
Anybody else?
I came over and went out there, and I'm sure I'll get word very soon.
How about the lineup? You said last night you were thinking about a change. Are you going to make
Well,
one?
yeah, we'll change it tonight solely, from a matchup standpoint. This Oklahoma City team is they're a pretty big team, so we definitely have to try to match up to them as close as we can. So we'll start Chris Middleton instead of Luke Ridnow, who. Luke has really been playing well for us.
Played well last night.
He did a good job last night. So, but from a matchup standpoint, we'll make those changes tonight.
And you said you're hoping that'll get Chris maybe going a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, before he came out of the starting lineup, he was really playing, with a real good rhythm. He was scoring the basketball. He was doing some real good things for us. Coming off the bench, I think his numbers are down. So we'll insert him back in the lineup tonight, and we'll see how it goes.
Just one more. Chris and also Giannis probably get KD duty tonight.
Yeah, there's going to be a few guys who are probably going to get that duty.
Right.
From a matchup standpoint and from what we do from a coverage standpoint, chances are different guys will be assigned as far as that assignment. But we're going to have to, we're just not going to be able to just totally just focus on them because they got too many other good players. We have to, just make sure from a matchup standpoint that, we're not giving up size at positions throughout the game. Again, chances are different guys will get matched up against him, but we have to make sure that we don't totally just focus on KD, make sure somebody else gets loose. So hopefully matchup-wise, we should be okay.
Coach, going back to Luke, with Brandon struggling last night, it seemed like he was able to pick up the slack. Is Luke one of those guys that if he needs to score, you feel confident that he can get the job done?
Well, not only scoring, but keep us organized. I think, since he's been in the league and with the teams that he's been with, he's always been looked at as a guy, kind of a stabilizer, guy that can keep you organized, guys that can keep you keep you together. And, he has the ability to score. He's a really good passer. So he brings a lot of things to the table. Last night's game was it was kind of just kind of a weird game. I think, you grab that stat sheet at the end of the game and you look at all the other categories, and I thought we were really effective in all the categories and led most of the categories except for at that free throw line. We just fouled way too much, and that ended up being the difference last night.
With Oklahoma City's front line, they have a lot of guys that can play inside and out. What type of problems did that present? Guys like Collison and Ibaka and so on and so forth.
Well, we're going to have to just step up and take that challenge. They do have guys that do play out on the perimeter. We're going to have to take the challenge of defending inside out. If their bigs do step out, we're going to have to go out there and guard them. Go out there and guard them means we're going to have to make sure that we contain them off the dribble because they can put the ball in the deck. So that's just a challenge. That's an individual challenge for our guys who will be guarding those guys out on the perimeter.
Larry, the foul issue, is that maybe a learning curve thing where young guys are still learning how to defend without fouling?
Well, it's not only just the young guys; it's our older guys as well. It was just collectively, across the board last night. We just fouled way too much. We did too much reaching, and we got to move our feet. Nothing we didn't talk about. We brought a good, a really good focus to the game. Playing against a Chicago team. Knowing, first of all, you're going to have to bring a physical presence. When you play against a team like that, you're going to have to box them out on the boards, and you're just going to have to be physical, on both ends of the floor. And I thought we did that, but just used our hands way too much where we did foul and put them on the free throw line. And unfortunately, when it's that big of a difference as far as the free throws, it's very hard to overcome.
This is a really tough place to play for a road team, but they've lost 3 or 4 at home. Did you see anything in those games that you can kind of conclude that maybe you can take advantage of?
No, not really. I think, anytime you play on the road, my philosophy doesn't change as far as, playing and bringing a road mentality. That road mentality is first of all, trying to control, the tempo of the game. And how do you do that? You have to be, from an offensive standpoint, you really have to execute your things, and you have to. You can't get into a run and jump and shooting contest with a team like Oklahoma City, particularly on their home floor. Secondly, you got to take care of the basketball. You turn the basketball over, it's going to result in them running on the other end. Then thirdly, you have to rebound the basketball. You rebound the basketball, and And if you do those three things and just kind of dictate the rhythm of the game, it should put you in a pretty good position. Obviously, you have to make shots, but I've been in this building a number of times, and I know how this crowd is. It really has kind of a college atmosphere. The energy that this crowd, when they're into the game, they're into the game, and you feel them. But it's important that any visiting team that comes in here, you can't, you just can't just try to get into a jump shoot contest with this team. You got to be selective with your shots. You have to execute. As I mentioned, you got to take care of the basketball, then you have to rebound the ball.
Larry Drew there with some very complimentary things to say about the crowd here at Chesapeake Energy Arena. And again, in case you missed it there at the very beginning, he said he didn't know whether John Henson would play tonight. Henson's been out the last few games for the Bucks. He's a pretty good double-double guy. He may not play tonight. And then Larry Drew changing up his starting lineup just a little bit. Luke Ridenour will go to the bench. Chris Middleton will come out and play one of those guard positions. We, of course, will be here for post-game stuff, so click back with us right here on ThunderGameReport.com.